Welcome back. It's Medical Monday here on KRDO News Channel 13 with our very own Dr. John Torres. Good afternoon, Dr.
Good afternoon. I made it in through all the weather warnings and sirens going off.
Down I-25.
Nothing can hold you down.
Nothing can hold me away.
Keep you back from Medical Monday.
There you go.
All right. Well, today we're talking about children and heavy painkillers. A lot of debate about this one today.
You know, there's a lot of debate with a lot of people, including a lot of doctors, are scratching their head going, do we really need this? Have to be very careful with it because the Federal Drug Administration is approving a painkiller, OxyContin, for children as young as 11. Now, the FDA says children can use OxyContin only if they need long-term pain relief and they have no other options. OxyContin has become notorious because it's been abused by painkiller addicts, and some experts are concerned that younger patients could be more likely to get addicted. The drug will be used for patients dealing with cancer, trauma, and those recovering from surgery that other medicines don't work on. And just to put it in perspective, OxyContin is basically made from oxycodone, which is the active ingredient in Percocet. And so this is essentially Percocet for children. Have to be very careful with it. There's very strict standards on who to give it to and when to give it to them, and it has to be watched very closely.
And for the better part of 20 years, haven't people really have had a severe addiction when it comes to this type of medication?
They're very addictive, and that's the problem. They should be used for short-term pain relief. You know, children as young as 11, and again, you have to be very cautious with it. And so I think there's going to be people getting it that need it, children that need it, but you have to make sure that they do need it and that it's used appropriately.
Yeah, and what that line is. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, Dr. John, we all know babies have been called bundles of joy, but the new study shows that transition not bringing a lot of joy to some parents.
And sometimes that transition can get you to want to pull your hair out a little bit. But researchers out of Germany say new parents may experience a massive dip in happiness that could lead to declining birth rates. Now, being a first-time parent, that can be tough. Sleep deprivation, financial stress, recovery from childbirth, those can all contribute to stress levels. But how bad is it really? Well, researchers in Germany set out to find out, and they studied 20,000 couples both before and after childbirth. The couples rated their happiness on a 10-point scale. After the birth of a first child, their happiness level dropped 1.5 points in that very hard first year. That drop is greater than the 1-point drop after the death of a partner and 3 times greater than the drop in happiness following a divorce. So parents who waited longer to have children and were more highly educated ended up having a greater loss in happiness following that childbirth. Along with the stress of how important it is to children, it led many couples to forego having a second child.
Wow.
And so again, this is one of those things that does give you a lot of stress. They are bundles of joy.
They are.
I have a couple myself,
Yep.
but sometimes so just take it in stride.
I always tell friends if they're about to have their first child, the key is getting your sleep. If your wife needs some rest, let her take a nap, and then you take care of the child, and then if you know, switch on and off. I think that
And for the significant other, either guy or girl that doesn't help out, be the one to help out.
Yeah,
this is the time to pitch in.
It is
pitch in and help
definitely
out.
a cooperative
Well,
partnership.
It has to be.
All right. Well, we all know by now, Dr. John talks all the time about balance, eat right, exercise,
moderation.
But what if moderation's kind of boring?
And that's one of the things. If it's boring, you're probably not going to do it. So you need to find ways to make it not boring. And if exercise program you do is kind of boring and you find yourself skipping it, well, we want to introduce you to a new way to keep you healthy. It's called parkour. And in parkour, you move from place to place, taking the shortest route possible. Now, the idea is very simple. It's to get over obstacles in a smooth and efficient manner. Now, although some learn parkour for adventure, a lot of it are practicing it for the exercise. And unlike other sports, martial arts, for example, there's no real set course or real set movements that you have to do. So it's very popular right now because everybody can do it however they want to. It's filled with leaps, vaults, rolls. Parkour was originally created in the 1980s in France by the son of a French Special Forces soldier who modeled the movements after military training. Today, it's an internet sensation. Parkour gyms are opening up all across the U.S. Jackie Chan is the one to think about when you think about parkour. He's great at doing that, just leaping.
And anyone can do it, are you sure?
Well, so some people do it very slowly and very gently. Other people do it very, largely and more dangerously.
Jumping on boxes and that sort of thing.
Yeah, or jumping off the curb.
The fastest route from me to my desk.
Yeah, let's see. Just up the wall. You can do that.
Are you going to demonstrate some parkour for us?
No, Rob said he would do it later.
We'll put a video on KRDO.com.
Ooh.
Sprinting to
I think
my
that's a
desk.
promise.
Well, it's like I tell people, I can demonstrate it once.
I'll tell you what.
And then I'd be
From me getting
Right.
to my desk to the car for dinner hour, I got the fastest 40 time
There you
by
go.
far in this building.
and nothing gets in
Call
your
that
way.
parkour. Thanks so much, Dr.
You
John.
bet.
We will see you on
Hardcore
Thursday.
parkour.
All right. Jay's doing some parkour.